Here's what I'm doing. Can't go without saying.
Okay, 6:05, I'll call the meeting to order. Discussion, is there the privilege of the chair? Anybody have anything they want to discuss on the? Okay, if not, we'll go to the first resolution amending 2013 operating budget DPW. I need a sponsor. Tom Quackenbush or Allen. Paul, you just want to give a brief?
Yeah, it's just to transfer money from basically the bike trail maintenance into the hourly, because we're going to be short in the hourly, and the bike path maintenance is done for the year. So we budgeted so close that it's just, we got to do a transfer just to cover payroll at the end of the year.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the committee? Move it. All right, next resolution is a resolution authorizing chairman to sign agreement with Capital District Physicians Healthcare Plan. He's sponsored Bill Strebe, second Brian Sweet. Pretty clear. Public health is, she's not here. The public health is mandated to provide specific immunization services, and CDPHP is providing those services in a contract. So, what pleasure of the committee? Move it? Move it? Next resolution is a resolution approving critical maintenance information technology upgrade project, FMCC. Needs a sponsor. Tom Quackenbush, second Brian Sweet. Dusty, you want to?
Sure, I understand the money is in the budget, so what this resolution allows me to do is start the process to get the state aid to match the project, and that's why they need it.
Anyone have any questions to the president? If not, what's the pleasure? Move it.
Move it.
All right. Next resolution is the resolution authorizing chairman to sign agreement, general liability and other pertinent insurance coverage. Board of Supervisors needs a sponsor. Bill, the second. Michael. I think there's been some discussion. I think we have John Bancini. You want to? I'm not sure what we can do, but you want to answer any questions or make any
questions. That's why I came.
Anyone have any questions? Yeah.
John, can you shed a little light on what's going on?
Sure.
Is it still isn't warm, or are you breaking off on your own?
Well, it's a little bit of both. Hazen Warmth is still in existence, but we've decided to dissolve the corporation. So, in the interest of the county, considering that I constructed the
Could you
program-
speak up just a little bit for those who are hard of hearing?
Well, considering that I constructed a program for you, within, consideration of the county, the best thing to do would be to keep me involved. So in order to do that, I made the request that I sent a letter to the supervisor there. So, but in essence, that's going to dissolve. It could happen within 4 months, could happen within 6 months.
Hazen Warma?
Yeah. So, I mean, the way I look at it, quite frankly, is me and Hazen Warman and me and Beacon are essentially one and the same. I've always been your point person. I've always been an owner of the companies, and I've been the person that really constructed those programs. So there's really no change to it. There's no change in companies. There's no change in my services. There's no change in me. So long as I wake up tomorrow morning. And that's just really the gist of it.
Can I ask another one?
Sure.
So, who are we insuring through? Travelers?
Okay, you have travelers and you have physicians reciprocal for the medical.
And you can pick that up from your
Yeah, I
end?
have all the same companies.
I have one more. Maybe better let somebody else talk. I gotta figure out what it was.
So John, essentially, there's no change to our insurance whatsoever, correct?
No, it doesn't affect your pricing, and the pricing will be based upon the renewal exposures, which, that's one of my concerns. You need to get that stuff together and get it out, but you still need some additional information. But in order to do it properly, it'd be best to meet the request that I put forward the last week or two. So nothing changes.
You can go ahead, go back to Bill if you want.
You want to follow up on that? Or?
Yeah, just, one other essential question. You've been working with the county for the past 3 or 4 years now with the insurance.
Since 2009.
And you've worked on a flood. There's major claims that you've worked on for the county. Basically getting us a good value for our dollar with our
Yeah, and there's
insurance.
services that we put forward that, you know, quite frankly, I never charge for. I mean, there are other things that we sponsored that we had a seminar that few of the personnel went to. There's other seminars that we put forward for the departments. But there are other things that we constructed within that program that, you know, I may say this a little loosely, but I think others probably would have charged some nickels for those things.
Yeah, Michael?
I have a question. On this resolution, it continually says Hazen Warmouth. Will that be deleted?
Yes.
That should be changed. If we're not renewing the current program through Hazen Warmouth, it should not reflect that we are.
But Hazen Warmouth does exist.
For the moment.
So could there be a liability issue here
With
with
what?
two different companies? I don't know. I'm just asking a question.
So your question today, so I don't know. how to-
Legality, is that what you
Yeah.
said? Legality?
Is there still a Hazen Warmouth in existence
For the moment, yes.
for the moment?
Yes.
Let me
Okay.
just,
It's a difficult concept to wrap your mind
I got the
around.
question.
You have to understand.
I know what everybody wants to hear.
You got the next one.
Has anybody from Hazen Warmouth told us that they're not interested in carrying out a policy in the future?
What?
Well, you're basically looking at Hazel Warmouth.
He is Hazel.
You're it.
Essentially, yes.
So then my next question is if the business company name is changing. Are we able to do this without going to an RFP process?
Those are all very good questions. The questions I'll get to it in a minute. If we can get, just let Tom ask a question first, then we'll get back to it.
I'm done as long as I can answer it.
My question at the last meeting had nothing to do with John's ability to serve us, how well he served us in the last 4 years, and a lot of what he does. It was simply about this resolution, and can that name be replaced or rescinded? Or if we just wanted to do business with Beacon, why wouldn't we just do this cleanly and have a resolution that says, here's who you're doing business with? Why would we, that's the question I wanted answered from Doug, was why would we bother with rescinding this thing that says, and it goes to what Michael said, as long as it's Hazen Warmouth, because in here, they're the only ones that can renew the way that I read it. If they're still going to be in existence. If they choose not to renew, and they told us that, whoever it was, John, and said, we're not renewing with, for instance, a letter, or we don't choose to renew with them, then I would say, why aren't you just doing a clean resolution? Well, why are you bothering with us rescinding of anything? Just, I would just do,
Yeah, because there are,
just do a resolution, whether it's through RFP or not, if you just want to re-up with it.
when this came up last week, it came up at a previous meeting. There was, or it was going to come up, and it didn't because 2 weeks ago, because it got pulled, and because we were going to discuss it at the finance committee meeting anyways. We'd had some correspondence, the attorney and I, and the concern expressed was, and again, I'll repeat what Tom said, the service, whoever's been providing it, could be, it has been, you know, we've gone through, as Tom said, we've gone through several claims and things have been fine. We've not seen any issues, all right? The issue is that resolution that awarded that insurance originally, and the concern that the option to renew may be owned by Hazen Warmouth.
That's incorrect.
Well, that was a concern of the
And I
attorney.
understand that, I appreciate it. But
All
I
right.
have no contract as a salesperson would have.
No, I'm not saying that, but
That's how the ownership gets established.
That's what I was trying to get at.
See, I essentially
Yeah, but I-
proprietary information through them.
Okay, I'm gonna follow this, and then you can answer.
Yeah.
Because my concern was, the contract was with Hayes and Warmouth. If you are Hayes and Warmouth, then if the county could get a release from Hayes and Warmouth, it would sort of spell out what their concerns are.
Well, there's really no contract.
Well-
Hayes Warmouth has no contract with the county.
Okay, let me,
First of all, when this came up 2 weeks ago here, at the special meeting, I believe it was, I wanted an opportunity to look back at what did exist from a contractual standpoint. Was there a contract with Hayes and Warmouth, or was there simply a contract with the underlying insurance carriers? And it turns out that what John just said is correct. There is not an actual contract with Hayes and Warmouth. We purchased the insurance through Travelers and the other carriers through Hayes and Warmouth. And so our arrangement really is with those insurance companies. However, the resolution that was adopted in October of 2012 does retain Hayes and Warmouth to provide the insurance, and indicates that the contract may be renewed for successive years. Of course, that renewal would be subject to mutual agreement of the parties. Hayes and Warmouth, as I understand it, first of all, has not, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but made any overtures to renew, nor is it indicating that there is any likelihood of it continuing to service these insurance needs. If the desire is to continue with John Mancini, you would then be entering into an arrangement with Beacon, the new agency, and we would not call it a renewal. I think the resolution would have to be changed to reflect that the insurance is being placed with Beacon through John Mancini, rather than a renewal with Hayes and Warmouth, because that isn't going to happen.
But to my point, why not just the resolution?
Well, it has to be
Why would we strike
changed.
anything in this?
It clearly, it definitely has to be, this would have to be changed, yes.
Well, not changed, don't even have it.
Can we just strike this resolution and replace it with a resolution just to,
Well,
then you get the concern that Supervisor Quackenbush has. That, and I think that Supervisor Strebe said the same thing. Do you then, because it's no longer them, do you then go out for an RFP for insurance? And then it makes it all clean, and as if, because the question will get to be is, do you go back at those other insurance companies that may have bid at the time? What's the cleanest way out?
you could have gone out for an RFP this year for the 2014 insurance. As a practical matter, I don't think that's going to happen, being that it's December 10th and your final meeting of the year is 1 year from tonight.
No, but I think you could go out month to month or whatever the.
Well, I was just gonna ask two questions to follow up, and then I'm done. Now, could you do that, what Doug just said, or said month to month until we did that? You can't. That answers that question. You wouldn't, or you just can't?
How are you gonna do it?
I don't know, that's why I mean, could you?
If I may,
It's not practical, no.
if I can say so, dealing with a lot of the claims and the carriers and so forth, a month-to-month insurance program would not be feasible. It would be quite disruptive. Whether it's John or anybody else, the insurance program that we have at the present time, which is largely with Travelers, and I see it every day, has been working well for the last, what's it been, 4 or 5 years, I guess, 5 years? If you wanted to switch completely to something new, you could do that, but going along on a month-by-month or that type of a basis would if the carrier would even entertain the idea of doing it, would jeopardize the continuity of your insurance program. We have a lot of claims that come in, most of which the Board of Supervisors never sees. You'd be putting the county at risk.
So the minimum amount of time, 6 months, year, just
Minimum for a while.
for you to, because it isn't feasible to go month to month. What
You're
is
not gonna
some,
get a company to go to month to month.
right, so I'm
And in the
asking,
interim, you're gonna have to get somebody to develop all the information to get the travelers to offer you renewals. That's why I'm here, to tell you
Right.
that I'm trying to secure that renewal for you.
How
The only
long?
person that's gonna be able to do that,
I understand that, but how long?
how long to do what? To get the renewal?
No, I'm saying, if we have a resolution that names Beacon, is that the name of it?
Right.
Is it a 1 year? Is it, what are you looking at? What are we looking at? Huh?
Well, this reflects it as January through December of 2014. I think the dates would be appropriate.
With the ability to renew.
Right, what I'm saying is if, say, the new legislature wanted to go out and have an RFP done, what is the time frame that would take? I'm just saying 6 months, a year. So what would be a comfortable time frame that your company would be able to take this on for? You said month to month is just too short, doesn't make sense, I understand.
Yeah, I'm
6
here-
months,
I'm here
year?
to take it on for at least a year. And
Well, that's what I'm trying to ask. Maybe the year is the comfortable. The second part of my question, a minute ago, Doug, you said that we really didn't have any contracts with Hayes and Warmth, they were with Travelers.
Yes.
Would that be the same thing here? It's really not with Beacon, it's with those insurance carriers.
I expect it would be set up the same way
Beacon
next
being
year
the
as it
agent.
was this year, yes.
All right. I was just confused about that.
When we spoke 2 weeks ago, I wasn't certain that we didn't have a separate written agreement with Hayes and Warmth, and that was one of the concerns that I had that night. It turns out that we do not. And have,
But somebody gets a commission. Hayes and Warmouth would have got a commission off the WECO.
and presumably it did for
Yeah, so
2013.
go back to your original concern. If Hayes and Warmouth is in the resolution,
Yes.
and the Hayes and Warmouth, you believe that the time owns the option to renew, then if you take the business away from Hayes and Warmouth, even though they may go out of business in 3-4 months, somebody else is saying that,
Right.
not me. The thing is, there are commissions. So if they lose the commission, and I know, you say it's also you, but I don't know it's you. All right, I know you. All right, so I don't know the makeup of the business. All right, so my concern is, do they come back?
Well, not if you
And then-
don't exercise the renewal option.
Well, then, if you don't exercise the renewal option, the question gets to be is then, why aren't you giving it to those insurance companies that bid it the last time?
I'll tell you what,
Wait, Tommy, I got Butch.
John, correct me if I'm wrong. You are the president and the owner of Hazel Warren, correct? Right. Okay. Number two, we are not doing anything with you, we're doing it with Travelers, correct?
Yeah, the carriers.
Right? The carrier is Travelers.
I'm here
So
for
if
that.
we went and looked at this, and since it's John, I'm not John, it's, John is the president or whatever of Hazel Warren, okay? And he is also the president, et cetera, of Beacon, okay? He represents Travelers. If this thing is made, the resolution is made out for Travelers with John Mancini's name in it, who cares who the carrier, who the company is?
Some agency got some fees.
It's
And
him. It's him.
So then
You
why
say
can't,
it's
John
him.
Mancini.
then why can't he give us a release? If you're the president of Hayes and Warmouth, why can't you release?
Get the release.
Well, I don't know I'm gonna release you from, because there's no
Why does-
contract.
But there was commissions paid to Hayes and Warmouth.
That's got nothing to do with it.
Yes, there is. Somebody,
No, I understand what you're trying to say. There's no
Everything
two-party
is with
contract.
Travelers.
between
Now, your
the
current
agency and-
arrangement expires December 31st, 2013.
Right, and you need two parties to be in a room.
To renew it, the
You're
only way
renewing it with Travelers.
you could technically renew it is to have the same plan that you had in 2013 through Hayes and Warmouth. That isn't going to happen, so huh?
Why?
Because
Why?
there's nobody here from Hayes or Warmouth that's trying to get your
Same
information
plan.
and get you the renewal.
Same plan.
As long as you know the information.
Does that put an option in there?
What?
This resolution you just read?
Yeah, it
That
says
read
May.
Hayes and Warmouth?
May.
The old one?
Yeah,
It's easy.
The one from last year?
yeah. Was there an option, a renewal option in one of them?
In the resolution that was adopted last year, yes.
What's it say?
It said, where said contract may be renewed for the years 2014, 2015, and 2016.
With who?
It says
If you
May.
read from the way that the rest of the paragraph, the rest of the resolved paragraph reads, you'd implicitly say with Hayes and Warmouth, because they're the ones that are referenced. It says, resolved that RFP 0312 is hereby awarded to Hayes and Warmouth to provide liability and other appropriate insurance coverages for the period January 1st, 2013 to December 31st, 2013, in an amount not to exceed $533,400, where said contract may be renewed for the years 2014, 2015, and 2016.
So that's what we're doing in this resolution, is renewing it for 2014 with Hayes and Warmouth,
Well, that's what this resolution says.
because that's based on this resolution.
Yeah, I agree. That's what it says. I don't think it should go forward as it's written, but that's up to the board.
It's like I'm sitting here trying to make a decision based on, and I want to trust everybody, but you can only trust so far. It's, you know, he says you're the president. I don't know if you're the president. You can say you're the majority owner. I don't know if you're the majority owner. I don't even know who the owners are. Are there
Well, I
more?
think the issue is looking at the person who constructed your program is most familiar with that. And I understand what you're trying to say. However, I reference again that there's no contract in place between that entity and this county, nor is there a contract in place between me